start recording. Okay, I have started the recording. Now, this is 28th Jan 2022. Um, Issues or problems in products. Okay, so what are the issues that you normally face? Let's go with each and every stage. Okay, first one is process analysis phase. Quickly, what is the next stage? Make it quick.
Development. Development.
Documentation.
Sorry.
So PDD creation and all. Next is development. Next one is testing. The next one is production deployment, and and the last one is
Maintenance.
supporting, hypercare or support. Okay. See, every stage you will have one or the other problem. Okay. The question that will be asked is, what is the issue you faced while development, and how did you solve it?
Okay.
A 1 year or 6 months experienced person will say that, okay, I have selector issues, I have application not responding, or he will say that applications that are provided are not on a particular structure. So this is what we will say.
Okay.
But someone with 4 years of experience or 3+ years of experience will not go into selectors, because he is more than working on selectors, and he is working with selectors for the past 3 years. Why will he say that selectors is an issue for me? Okay. Now the problem that while you're giving an interview, most probably what would you say is, since though you're giving fake experience, what would you say is, okay, I have this application and this application is not responding as per the selectors, and that was creating an issue.
Okay.
But what a 6 years or 4 years experienced person will say, he will not worry on the selectors. He will worry on the process. What I will say is, see, they have brought up a process, and that process is not static, and the process changing continuously. On every week or every month, there will be an update, some kind of UI update. We are tend to go with UI updates, and we are and that particular process doesn't have any standardization. Even they don't know how to standardize that process. Okay. Now, if we are going to say some standardized steps, they cannot change it, because they are already in place. They already have a few things in place, and they didn't want to change it. Now, my
Okay.
task became very difficult in making them understand, to make sure that there are some process changes as well as some templates creation, and dividing the process into two modules. The first module is actually working only with the bot, and the second module where human comes in and works. So instead of giving them a complete solution, I gave them a part of the solution. Now the process is streamlined. So the time that's taken up, which is 20 minutes, the automation is taking 5 minutes, and the remaining process is taking 6 minutes. So 20 minutes is reduced to 11 minutes, rather than completely reducing or completely automating it as a complete whole process. So making business understand with the process, because they are new to RPA, they don't know how to see the process, became a tough problem for me initially. But even once they understood the problem, they were able to change the process.
Okay.
Did they talk about selectors now?
No.
But is this a problem that should be solved?
Yes, we are reducing the time, right?
Exactly. So I'm saying that this is the problem,
Right.
and they need to streamline this process. Okay. So, see, the way how we answer completely changes. If you answer like this, he will not have a question that you don't have experience. Okay. But if you answer something like, okay, while development they have given us an application, that application UI is not working properly, then we don't know what to do. So I gave it to my lead and he worked on it. So how did this answer sound?
Mhm. Doesn't look like doesn't look like good.
Simple, right? They
Yeah.
he is not trying to find a problem. Even if you say that there is a selector issue, then you can say, okay, this particular application is not working with UI elements, so we tend to go with OCR. Now, the problem with OCR, see, now you are explaining the statement. The problem with OCR is not every time it will come properly, but what we understood is the images are static. So instead of going on with the OCR, we went with image, and with image, we have the resolution is fixed. Now we didn't have any resolution changes, because with images resolution, if the images resolutions change, then we will have issues with the click of the activities. Okay, so we tend to click on those images, and that's created a streamlined process without any errors. And the business is also happy, and we did it only in one or two places. So there is no difficulty in clicking on those images at a correct state. So before clicking on that image, we see whether the application is in that exact screen. Then we will go ahead. If it is not in the exact screen, then we will throw a business rule exception. Okay, so now you're saying that you have a problem, you found an alternative, and you are also giving a business rule exception stating that that particular transaction is not working along with a screenshot. Okay, see this, review this recording completely. It will definitely help you. Okay, let's go ahead and see with the analysis phase. What are the issues that you can face in the analysis phase? See, the main problems is improper requirements, process not standardized. Okay, and what are the other things? Communication or standardized. Okay, so what is the next step? See, while creation of PDD or working on PDD, there is a delay in approval of PDD because business didn't see it on time, and they came back. Um, they were not able to review on time and give it back, so that created a delay. Okay, while in development, you can definitely say these things, like there is an issue, uh, application not working with selectors. Okay, and we need to, so there is no particular process, no particular streamlined process. So we need to create some templates and work with those templates. So I'll tell you one of the use case that I faced. So the customer uh, wants to update or give the inputs. For example, we have RPA challenge, right? If we take that as a website, or if that is a application to be automated, he wants to push the Excel data dynamically, and that's not static, where because the Excel file is created manually. Okay, now what is your solution? Can someone tell how can you correct this one, or how can you work on this particular issue? We have orchestrator in place, we have a process in place. Now what is your idea? How will you solution this? How will you think that, okay, this can be a solution?
Manual data will push into the orchestrator. From there, we can get the data.
Perfect. So the option that we have is, while creating of queues, we can upload the queues manually with CSV file. Okay, so what we said to customer is we gave them a edit access to the queue that they can create new queue items, and they can click on that upload button and they can upload the CSV. We gave the complete format of what data should be uploaded. Now the customer requirement is just to create that format and to upload it. And after completion of every item, they will get a report, or after completion of all the items, they will get a report stating that this is completed. And customer is happy.
Right.
Okay. Though we are having an issue, we are also giving the solution. See, interviewer is not interested only in the problem. Interviewer is also interested in how you solve the problem.
Right.
Okay. Now, with respect to testing, see, when you cannot take a blame the process, but not a person. Okay. So while testing out, say that there is, see, sometimes this can also happen, like there is no um, a test environment. Okay. So the business is giving us the live production environment. Okay. So how did you solve this?
We'll push the code into the customer and I mean production environment.
Yeah, but they are giving you the production environment only. They are not having any test application. How will you work on this? Okay. Now think like how can you tell a story? Okay, this is what I would say. So we requested since there is no test environment, we requested a credential or a user which don't have any write access into the application. Okay, that particular application requires only to read the data but not to write anything. But whatever data that we have read, we need to uh, do some manipulations or check for some business rules. So what we did is instead of having a complete read write access where the data can be manipulated and we don't require a write access, instead of giving complete access, we requested them to create a user a service account. Our accounts should be only read only access, should have only read only access. When we deploy this process into the application, if we require or if there is any activity to write, there is a on-site counterpart who is working along with us. So he will check or he can create some flows which requires a write access. So we are pushing our code into Git and he is taking the code from Git and he is working with his credentials. And on-site people have access to the application with write access. Okay. See, did I say that the process is wrong? Did I say that there
Uh,
is an issue with one particular person, or did I say? So what did I say?
mm,
That this is the business way how they are following, and we found out that this can be implemented like this, and we were able to deliver the solution even. Whatever we are doing 90% of the job from our end. Remaining 10% is done by the on-site counterpart, and we are guiding him. Even that is a solution, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, testing. What can be a problem with testing? See here, with respect to testing, uh, no proper test data is available. Now, what do you mean by testing exactly? Okay, we created API process, right? To create or to find a new user.
Yes.
Okay, now that random API generation, the business rule is that if the user name starts with A, then don't create that user.
Okay.
Okay. So now our test data should contain A in it, and it should avoid those and create a report stating that this is containing A, and we should not process this. That is one test condition. There can be one
Right.
more condition, like if it is an Indian, then create it. If it is an other country, then don't create it. So we are checking the nationality here.
Right.
So along with EA, we need to provide, so there should be some test data without EA, but without India in their nationality.
Okay.
Okay, so this is test data. So there is no proper test data, so we need to create our own test data and we need to get it approved. So that is time, one time. Okay, and so what else can be done in the testing? So see, testing, it will be all problems and rectification. So there will be no more much testing that you need. You can say production deployment is where you can definitely say. See, the problems with production deployment is if it is on-prem orchestrator. See, uh, yesterday there is one of my team member in the previous session asked me, like, okay, sir, there is a question like which environment I have used, and I have said like in the community version we are having 2020.10 and the 2021.10, right? So I have said that I've used. Okay, I will tell you release cycle, UiPath release cycle. Just observe with that properly. Okay, so if we would have said that he is working on 2020.10 or 2021.4, then interviewer would have been happy. But since he said 2021.10, they came to understand. They understood that he is not having the experience. He said that he worked only on 2021.10 version. That was the blunder he made. I'll tell you why. That's a blunder. Okay, here if we have on-prem orchestrator, then we can say, see, when we deploy a process, then we are using some packages, right? We are using
Right.
API packages, we are using database packages, Excel packages. Okay, so those packages might not be upgraded to the latest versions which we are using. In this particular, uh, let's go and see here. UiPath in 30 days. Okay, repository show in Explorer. So let's see with Ajay items. So here you have robotic enterprise framework. Where is the JSON file? Where is the JSON file? You don't have JSON. Okay, let's show with my okay client security hash. There is no process. Let's go with random user API. Okay, code. Can you see the project JSON? In this project JSON, we will have what are the activities that we are using and what is the version that we have. Okay. Now, while deploying into production, the on-prem orchestrator cannot get the libraries directly. These
Okay.
libraries. These libraries should be there in the orchestrator. How are we getting those packages? See, first thing is these packages are available in our local machine, but it will be downloaded to our local machine from somewhere, from the orchestrator. Okay. So do you know what is meant by on-prem orchestrator and cloud orchestrator?
Cloud, it's store the process, right?
What process?
Daily basis workflows.
See, on-prem is on premises of a customer. So customer is maintaining all the application orchestrator. So now if you go to cloud.uipath.com, now are you creating or are you maintaining this web application? No. So this is a cloud version that is being maintained by UiPath, and you're taking the access. You're just taking the access. Okay. When you're using Cloud Orchestrator, UiPath will automatically push all the updates. But when you are using on-premise orchestrator, you need to check with the hardware, you need to check with the server, you need to maintain everything. Do you want any other example?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
on-prem, I mean, he also need to download from the orchestrated server only, right?
Yes. Okay. Now, what if you maintain your personal Facebook within your organization? Okay, let's take an example of Facebook. Okay.
Okay.
See, organization Facebook is same with UI with the normal Facebook.
Okay.
But will the data that is there in the organization shared with the Facebook company?
No.
It cannot be shared, right?
Right.
We should not share our data to our company. So
Right.
here, even in our on-prem, so they will give all the setup files, and we will create our own server, and we will run our own web server orchestrator.
Okay.
Okay, so who will maintain that server now? Who will see that the application is working? Who will see that the website is up and running? Who will see that?
Customer
Our
side.
own.
Only clients or customer need to see or maintain it. It's not the
Right.
responsibility of UiPath.
Right.
Okay, but when we are seeing a cloud version of Orchestrator, this is the responsibility of UiPath.
Right.
Okay, and this is shared with multiple people. Is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now if I create a tenant, the tenant is accessible for only for me. But if you observe, the packages and all are same as the packages that are there in your cloud orchestrator as well.
Okay.
Now, who is maintaining this one?
Our own
UA
team.
path.
UiPath is maintaining. We are not
Right.
maintaining. UiPath is maintaining.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So in on-prem or in on-prem deployment or in actual live environments or in the organizations, on-prem orchestrators are being maintained by organization only, IT team.
Okay.
Okay. Now the problem that can happen is on-prem orchestrator don't have latest updates of packages. So when we don't have the latest updates of packages, this will not execute. The bot will not execute.
Right.
Okay, because we are saying that we are using 2020 2.11.4, but there is only 2.10 version. We don't have 2.11.4. It's trying to get 2.11.4.
Yeah.
Okay, that dependency did not met, so the bot will not execute. Okay,
Okay.
the second problem that we can have is um, dev dev application UI is different from that of prod. Okay, so what exactly have happened is we developed a solution. Okay, but that solution that we have developed is with a particular UI. See, we have two types of calculators. Calculator. Do you remember there is also a old calculator with small UI in the
Yes. Yes.
previous
Okay.
versions of Windows? Now in the production environment, we don't have this version, we have a previous version.
Okay.
Okay, now what happened is I developed everything with this version. In production, we have a previous version. Now, what is the option that we have? Solution.
You can update the.
See, we cannot say to a customer to upgrade their package or version in production.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but in during our deployment or during our development state, we need to clearly mention that whatever we are developing should be the same version in the production environment. So this can be
Okay.
something happen like this during development or during documentation
Production.
phase.
Okay.
Okay, documentation. We have both. Uh, we have both applications, both environments same, but we have it 1 month of development time, right? Okay, so during 1 month of development, production application got upgraded, and we are not aware that this is an upgraded application. Okay, so this came this so this is a production issue, and the production deployment will fail. Is it correct or not?
Yes.
Okay,
Got it.
now whom should we blame at this point?
Production people only.
Okay, so there is no need to blame, but what we can say is we dropped an email like while deployment, even customer also will be there during the deployment. Is it right?
Mm.
Because customer also need to see what we are doing or how the bot is getting deployed. This will always be there. Okay, not only development team will not take handle the production environment completely. Customer will always be there. Okay, so we can drop an email, or finally we can drop a production deployment report email with prod deployment report stating that um, hi team, we observed there is a um, application upgrade in prod environment that is not matching with the development environment. Deployment was not successful. So here we need to give the next steps. Okay, we are not seeing major changes except for few UI of the pages. Okay, um, we need to replicate same changes in dev environment and make changes in the code, update changes in the code. Uh, dev and dev efforts can be 1 week, and testing for can be for 2 days. Next deployment will be after 10 days. So now we are not taking a blame on our part. Let them struggle and let them worry why this communication is not given out properly to the development team. Okay, can you see now how did we draft an email?
Yes.
Okay, so this, see, the context might be different, but the communication still remains the same. Okay, so next development will be after 10 days, and that's it. So once we send it, they need to agree. They cannot do anything else, right? Because they haven't informed us that there is a change in the production environment. Okay, any questions? I'm going to stop in next 2 minutes. So any questions, please tell me.
No, Vajra.
Okay. So in support, don't worry about support for now. But the problems with the support can be any unidentified issues, screens, or pop-ups that comes up after execution of 3 months. Then you need to make change plan, and update changes. So what is the change plan here that I am talking about? So what is the change plan? Can anyone tell? Krishna,
application change,
sorry?
application upgrade. Thing.
No, no. See, change plan is simple. Now we have the changes. We need to give out the documents with estimations stating that, okay, we need to first analyze, we need to update the PDD, we need to deploy it, and we need to test it, and production deployment should be done. So all the steps need to be implemented, and that comes under change plan. But instead of having it as a complete 1 month or 2 months, we will have it only for 1 week or 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, follow complete documentation process. Okay, there can be one question to a in the interview stating like, okay, there is a small change and customer you are not a lead, but customer asked you to change or that's a small change. So customer asks you to change it by pinging you in chat. Will you change it? How will you do that? Flavia, can you answer this? This is
So
interesting.
we cannot change by just it should be in a official request, I think. So the
That's an official request. He made an official request over Teams.
okay, so we should inform it to the lead, and based on that only we can make changes.
Okay,
Um,
so the answer can be something like this. Whatever you have said is correct. Now the answer can be like this. So whenever there is a request, so we will make a change plan and we will see if there are if there is anything that is breaking the current process. Okay, and we will send out a report stating that the following changes are being made, will be made. We'll discuss with the team and we will send a report to the customer that these are the changes and we will update this on a specific date and we will have the deployment cycle. Okay, now you are agreeing to customer stating that, okay, I'll make a change, and you're also stating that this is the process we need to follow and this will be done in specific time. Okay. Good answer, Flavia. Others, were you able to get it? How you need to answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vajra.
Okay, great. Now tomorrow I will explain you about the release cycle, but I will give you a quick gist. Just try to understand. UiPath releases its long-term versions, long-term support versions, LTA, LTS, long-term support.
What is the useful?
See, then every project need to be have upgrades, right? UiPath cannot stay like this for next 2 years. It need to upgrade itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it will be. So when it creates a version, so every month it is releasing a new updates in our community versions. If you observe,
Yes.
okay. So the major releases will be on 2 months. That is in the month of April, and the second one in the month of October. So for every 6 months, it will release every 6 months. So this is 4 and this is 10. April month is 4, right? Fourth month, and this is 10th month. So they are following this release cycle. Okay, so the next release can be next major. So the current release is 2020.10, 2021.10. When can be the next major release?
April.
Point 11.
Hmm?
April. Sorry, October.
April 2022 point April
Yeah, April.
2022.4. And when can be the next major release after it?
October.
October.
2022.10.
Okay, 4, 10 in the sense, okay, 4 means, okay.
10th month.
Yeah, okay. Now, I thought that 2020.1, point 2, point 3, point 4.
Yeah, that will happen. So they will release minor, they will have minor releases. So 2021.4, these are minor releases.
Okay.
Minor release will be 2022.5.
Okay.
Okay, but they will not release it to the complete organization. They will release it as a community versions for us to test them.
Okay.
Okay, but major releases will be on 2020. So why, since he said 2021.10, now this is 2022.1, right? This is
Yes.
2022. This is only 2 months,
Yes.
right? Why the interviewer found that he is not working or he was fake? See, if I am an organization, I cannot right away move my complete code to newer versions, okay, newer UiPath versions immediately, because there can be some dependencies, process can break, or the new version doesn't support the previous code.
Hmm.
Yes.
So all these things can happen. So normally after 6 months of the release, we will see after 6 months of release, we will see adoption of new versions. So if there is 2020.4 version, and if my organization is working, or if I'm saying that I'm working for the past 3 years, then I should have worked on 2019 version, okay,
Uh,
2020 version, and 2080 version also, 2018 LTS also I should have worked. So now, did you understand the logic? Why did he found out?
Yes, Roger.
He said that I'm working on 2021.10, and I don't have any experience on 2018, 2019, or 2020.
Right.
Okay, so these are the pitfalls that someone can happen. So obviously, while creating a resume, you can go ahead in UiPath. You can see UiPath release notes. Can you see UiPath release notes?
Mhm.
So see, these are the platform releases. Okay, 2021, 2010, 2019, 2019.18, so 2018. See, 2019.4, 2019.10, 2020.
Mhm.
In 2020, there are multiple releases, but major release you need to see studio releases. See the IDs or the numbers: 2021.10, 2021.4, 2010.10, 2019.10. So they released only one major version in this.
that
Okay.
point.
Okay, so you need to be very careful on answering such questions. Okay, on-prem orchestrator. See, uh, he said that he worked on 2020.10, but there are previous versions, 2020.10 and 2020.19.10, 2019.10 as well. Okay, when he's saying that he has 3 years of experience, he cannot directly work on 2020.10, right? He should have already have worked on 2019 and 2018 also.
Right.
Present using 20. Thank you, Nara.
2021.4 is the
Good.
present user version.
In industry,
Yes, correct. Okay, so if they are upgrading, yes, if some company is starting new in last 1 month only, then it can be a client to you. You can say that, okay, I'm working on for the past 4 weeks, but currently I'm working at 2021.10 because the customer started their RPA journey only last month and we had the latest version. Client started working in the latest version. They don't have RPA practice in the past 2 years. That's the reason
Okay.
you're working on the latest version. But you already have experience of previous versions as well.
Okay.
Okay, so quick feedback and then let's leave. How many of you know what are the things that we have discussed today before joining this session? Whatever we have discussed, be frank and say, so that I will also get to know that you already know this. I will not, I need not say this next time.
No, I don't know any of these steps while the project level. So
Okay, and about the release cycle,
I don't know release cycles, long term.
Sir,
long term support.
I'm very new to this.
Hmm. But were you able to understand Flavia?
Yes, I can understand almost because yeah, I was working and learning studio for some nearly 6 months. So
Hmm.
uh, that's why I can understand some.
Excellent, excellent. So that's it for today. Hope you have a great session, and I'll
Thank
I'll
you.
stop and I will upload the recording. Anything else?